paused. Welcome everybody. Welcome out there on Facebook. Welcome to Why Don't You Do One 2020. Get ready for the next one. We've got another one just after Christmas, just in that time where everybody's kind of in limbo. So we're doing one 30th of December. 30th of December at 6:30 in the evening. Why don't you cheer for the new year? Bring a bottle to that one.
Yeah.
Or two.
A whole bottle. Sue, you can have a whole bottle all to yourself.
6 bottles.
6 bottles. There you go. Guys, we're going to talk about this one. So a little bit different than usual. Can I ask the rest of the panel, not the Why Don't You crew? Why don't you do one? What do you want to talk about? What is it for you? Does anyone want to speak first? Die.
Die.
She's going to steal my thunder.
Yeah, I think 2020 has been interesting, to say the least. It's certainly not what I expected. You know, when I came into January of 2020 and said goodbye to 2019, I thought, yeah, here we go. And then everything came to a complete standstill. However, I think there are two sides to every story. I think some people have really, really struggled through this, and there are other people who have taken the opportunity and are flying. Personally, I've had a great time. You know, I'll actually be quite sad when everyone move around again. So, you know, a little bit of both for me. I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. Steph, Keith?
Yeah, 2020 been bittersweet for me. Bitter in the fact that I should have taken my part 3 March the 20th. All got locked down on the 18th was the last test days. Retrospectively, I don't think I would have been ready for it. Utilize my lockdown time, as Di said. You know, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed people not moving around. I did lots of studying, lots of training, lots of work that I would have never have got done around the house. And then when I got my first available date, passed. So bittersweet for me. So only worked 6 months of the year, but okay, savings has taken the battering, but I've enjoyed my 6 months off.
Yeah, nice. Sue, Linda, Ian?
Yeah,
I'll go, shall I?
Yes,
you go.
please, Sue.
Sue first.
I think, like Diane, Steph have said, it's a mixed bag, 2020. A huge shock to the system, but actually a really welcome shock to the system for me. I think one of my biggest lessons has been, don't worry about the things you can't control. Well, don't worry about anything. Don't worry is one of my biggest lessons, but certainly make a distinction between what I can control and what I can't control. And I cannot do anything about this virus apart from look after, you know, myself and my immediate vicinity. But I certainly can't change the fact that it's here. So I've coped really well with that. I don't worry about it. And in that respect, whatever life throws at me is welcome.
Interesting. Ian? Who was next? Or Linda? Keith?
I can go.
Ian, go for it, please.
So 2020 for me started off quite sad, losing my dad Christmas last year. So obviously when lockdown started, it then gave me a chance to get my BTEC 4 back underway, and a couple of phone calls with Sue, not too many. There should be many more though, but I've been quite busy. Yeah, so it's quite been reflective year really, this one. Mikel Arteta, he can do one. We won't go there too much. If no one knows who he is, he's an up and coming coach of a certain football team. So yeah, this year can pretty much do one.
There you go. There's our first do one. Absolutely lovely. Linda.
I feel a bit like Sue actually. I've sort of been able to sit back and look at things that I can't control, and be able to accept the fact that I can't control it. A bit like Ian, I lost my mum at the end of last year as well. So it's been a strange year. That's all I can say, and I'll be happy to see the back of it. Yeah. Do one.
Do one. There's our second one.
Yeah.
Fab. Yeah, sorry. Condolences, Ian and Linda. Well, I've spoken to you since anyway. It's really
Thank you.
rough.
I think
Losing.
it's just more the fact that we couldn't really celebrate his life.
Yeah.
It was 6 people there or whatever, and that was it. You know, so. But yeah,
Next
let's not
year.
dwell on that. Let's not dwell.
But
Let's
there's
look forward.
another date. There is another date for that, Ian. You can get everyone.
Let's look forward to 21. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, thanks, Linda. Thanks, Ian. Keith, did you want to say anything? I'm volunteering you.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting year, coming back into it as well. And the good thing about it is listening to you guys, picking up lots of information and putting it out to my students now. I can hear myself completely changing my way of talking to them. I just feel sorry for the students. Not for me, but for the students not getting their tests being cancelled, being put back. It's just so sad. And it's making our job a lot harder as well, I think, to try and keep them going that longer. Because where it was only 2-3 months or whatever, we're talking 6 months before they actually get a test sometimes now, and it's very hard, I think. So yeah, I just feel sorry for those guys out there that want to get their test and get on with it.
Well, and I think that's the thing where we do tend to have that test focused approach to all of us in driver training. They do, the drivers do, and we do as an industry as well. Thanks, Keith. Absolutely. So you in the do one phase of things?
Oh,
then?
definitely. Do one. Have a new one in the new year.
Yeah, interesting. Phil, you haven't been here. Where were you, Phil?
I was going round and round in circles doing the Kylie Minogue. I'm spinning around.
Oh, I'm sorry if that was anything to do. I don't think it was anything to do with me. It's Terry's fault.
No, it wasn't. No.
No, you're spinning around. Wondering your thoughts on the subject, Phil, because that's what I've got everyone else to do.
It's all breaking up a bit on me, Fiona. I might go out and try again, actually.
Yeah. Everyone except Kev's muted. Everyone's, so it could be you need to reboot your browser or something. I mean, your router.
Can't find the live either.
You can't find the lives either. It
No, I'm
says,
not sure we're live, Fiona. Teresa's saying she can't find us. I can't find us.
I've been looking, I can't find it.
Sammy, did you do the sharing?
Can't find it.
Oh. Well, it says I'm live on Facebook. So it's on my profile, I believe.
My Facebook's been playing up all day, so I'm not sure.
Do you want me to end it and go back into it, guys? Seems
No, it'll probably be there somewhere.
it's recording on the live, so I can upload it later if I need to.
Mine says recording live.
Yeah, it does, but it does on mine, but on Facebook I can't find it, so it could be a Facebooky thing.
Interesting.
Not there. Not for me.
Well,
if anyone can see it.
If anyone has my
Oh, it's like way down on your timeline, about halfway down. Let me share it now. I found
Okay,
it.
thank you. Thank you. You, Susan.
How did you know it was her?
So are you all just playing mischief with me? So crew, has anyone been surprised by the responses so far? Has anyone of the crew got anything to say?
I'm not surprised at all. For me, I agree with some of the things that have been said about from Sue, from Di, and a few others, that this year to me has been a blessing more than anything, in that I've had time to rethink, reframe everything that I'm doing, everything that I believe in. And, you know, Zoom, I would never have made friends with Zoom had this happened, probably. And Zoom's been fantastic, hasn't it? Because look at what we've been doing, the Why Don't You crew, and all of the courses that are running on Zoom. So that's amazing. And I found out who matters to me and who really doesn't, what matters and what doesn't. And now everything that's in my life is meant to be there, and I'm grateful for it. So that's my feelings for the year, is just being grateful and accepting the things I can't control. Like Sue said.
Interesting. Kev, Terry, Neil, got any thoughts?
I'll let Terry go first.
Well, let Neil go first.
I'll
Too
go.
slow. You snooze, you lose, Whiteman.
I'll go first then. Yeah, pretty much what people have been saying. I'm pretty proud of my achievements in 2020, winning the Best Business Award as well in a tough, really tough year. So that shows my company's on the right way. And being able to do a virtual challenge with Mr. Field as well, walking the length of the country to Land's End to John O'Groats was quite a challenge. But yeah, the free time was really good. And like Sammy says, time to reflect and catch up on what you need to do. That's for me.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Thank you. I was totally distracted by Ian's picture. Sorry. You took me by surprise there, Mr. Ian. Kev, are you going to dump on Terry?
Yeah.
Again.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, so am I. Look, I don't. We mustn't forget that this whole thing has affected a lot of people in a bad way, and people have lost friends and family and everything like that. But this year's been great, personally. You know, I loved lockdown. I've learned a new skill. I still am learning a new skill that will hopefully give me some security in the future. All this online stuff that we've been doing, the Why Don't You stuff, and you just discover so much when you've got time to just find things out and learn some more and read some more. And I'm just a lot more at peace with things since this thing hit us. So yes, don't forget the human cost, but it's been a bloody good year.
Absolutely, yeah.
Over to you, Kevin R.
Well, I'm going to do something different. I don't think I've done before, but I'm going to ask Fiona. How's Fiona been this year?
Well, I haven't thought of an answer because I was just sitting there smug. I have really enjoyed these, and I didn't think I would. I didn't know how it was going to go. The first one we did, I had absolutely no idea. And as the five of us just always seem to wing it, and we always wing it so well as a team, we just seem to click and work. And I suppose that's why we're proceeding and moving on. You know, the business is moving on, and it's become a business for us. I find opportunities, how opportunities sometimes spring from hardship is fantastic to me. And when you find out, personally, I found out that I can almost run something like this where I didn't know I needed to, you know, spur of the moment thinking, asking you guys to mute yourselves and put your hand up. It wasn't something we spoke about, was it? As in running. So I've been on a personal journey, and I have really struggled. I haven't had the horrors that Ian and Linda have had, but you know, lockdown. The reason I suggested doing this was because that was the original number one lockdown was really quite a concern for me. And that's where this came from. So but it reminds me, this COVID thing just reminds me of what people used to talk about after the war. And they used to talk about the good old war years, but it's how people come together and how, like Sue said, Sammy said, Dyer said, how actually you really start to focus on what is really important. And I think Ian and Linda have their own versions of it. Really refocuses you, any kind of hardship like this. But I think in some ways we've done one in 2020. We that are here and we that are enjoying it, we're really doing it. We're still doing it. We're still doing our one. Sorry, Kev, I think I've gone on a little bit long. But you took me by the scruff of the neck, and I've been quite honest about how I feel about it. So yeah, personal life for me has kind of blossomed as well. So some of us feel lucky. Interesting.
Can I just thank you for setting all this up as well, yeah?
Well, it was all of us. It was all of us. But thank you, Ian. I don't think there's one you've missed yet, is there?
No.
My Ian.
It's just our prize.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really interesting. So has anyone got anything, you know, if you think about it, I would really like to hear the positives that have really come out then for other people. Specifics.
You've missed someone out, Fiona.
Phil hasn't been
Phil
yet.
hasn't spoken yet.
Well, I didn't know if he was back with his internet. I figured he always puts his hand up. Come on, Phil, please.
I think I'm all right now. Yeah, so 2020 has been a really interesting year. I dreaded to think what was going to happen when we first went into lockdown. You know, from a sort of business point of view, I was able to survive very well. But what it's done, it made me sit back and reflect on the way I was working, what I was doing, and it's changed. I've changed. I've become more relaxed. I found more time. I realized that maybe I didn't need to be doing all the hours that I was doing, and doing things in a different way, taking on one or two new things. But as I say, I've just discovered time, and I'm determined not to go back to the old ways, not at all. So yeah, for me, it's done me a lot of favors. I'm a more relaxed, more chilled in myself. So for me personally, it's been great.
It's really interesting, isn't it? So are we, I'll come to you just one sec, Di. Are we different? To anyone else? Are we different to the regular run-of-the-mill ADI?
Fiona, do you not pay attention on your BTEC? We are all different. Fonji, Monji, Vonji, Pinji.
No, do you think that we have a different outlook, those of us here in the why don't you kind of thing? Because I haven't heard, you know, if I think about asking that question in the test centre, do I believe I would have heard the same kind of positives? Don't know. So Neil, well, Di, I'll come to you first, but that's a question for you guys to think about in a second. Di, you wanted to say something? Yes, please.
Yeah, I did actually, because you know, I mean, it's great that we all feel like we do, and I just want to put a shout out really to those PDIs and people who've only been in the industry for a very short time, who have fallen through the net financially, who've got no help at all. And I just want to say my heart goes out to them, because it must have been a really, really tough time. I would hate going into lockdown knowing that I've got a final part 3 coming and never knowing when it's coming and not having the opportunity to train for it. So it's just a shout out for them, really, and to say it must have been awful, and I'm really pleased I'm not in their shoes. That's all.
Di, you and the crew made it easier going into lockdown, knowing there was a final part 3 and no training taking place. You helped, all of you have helped me enormously get there. So thank you to all of you. I'm so glad of you.
We'll send you the invoice, Steph, don't worry. In the new year when the loan comes through.
Yeah, when I start earning some money again, because yeah, I was one of those ones that Di just talked about, you know, no money coming in, had to survive on what savings I had left and a credit card, now paying off a credit card bill. But, you know, it is what it is. Couldn't do anything about it. You know, just so glad that you guys were out there. So thank you very much.
So that's a really nice, thank you for the compliment, Steph. Really appreciate that, because we have enjoyed it. We really have enjoyed it. Otherwise, I'm going to carry on. Yes, Terry.
Kev hasn't spoken yet. He ain't getting away with it.
I thought I had. I was hoping.
This was his idea, so he has to say something.
It wasn't my idea, was it? I can't remember. I had so many ideas. But yeah, I mean, this year for me has been amazing, I think, is the one word I keep using a lot all the time. I think I've been honest with myself more. I've been looking at beliefs and values a lot, and, you know, finding out what I believe and what I value and being congruent with that all the time. Now I have more respect for other people, a lot more time for them as well. A lot of people mention time, but also about, you know, just touching what Di said about giving back. And I think part of what we've done this year, every single one of us on here and other people that have attended throughout the year, we've all given back something. And I don't think, you know, we would have normally done that as such. I think we've got to a state now where money is important because you need it. But at the same time, having conversations with people or saying, look, well, just call me up and then we'll talk through that or something like that. You can't really put a price on that. And some of the things that I've seen people do, you know, they're not getting paid for it, but they're just giving up their little bit of time and saying to people, look, I can help. Come and see me, I can help you, or we'll do this or whatever. And I think that for me is just showing people to be who they want to be. And, you know, some of that sort of thing has just been amazing this year. And I keep using that word because I think it has. I think we've all had to adapt. You know, that good old thing in the standards check is adapt in your lesson. But I think we've all had to adapt because no one could have sort of like planned for what was going to happen. But I think as a group, we've all come together really. So I'm thinking it's been amazing, Leah. But that's me, and you know, there's a lot more to it than that. But yeah, there's the main things I've found. So yeah.
Yeah. No, brilliant. Thank you, Kev. Is that what you wanted to say, Terry, or did you have something else to add? No. So he was just dumping Kev in it.
Normally.
I think you're right. The paying it forward bit, and I think early on during lockdown, that was easier. Just that ringing people up and checking they were okay, and you know, it's a little bit of a reminder. Maybe I could just ring a couple of people, and so can anyone out there. Just ring someone you know they might be having a little bit of a moment. It's worth it. Yeah, I have remembered you, Summer.
I'm finding it really amusing looking at Ian's backgrounds.
I know. It's Kev's wheel now.
No, well, I was just going to add a little bit to that because you know, it wasn't that long ago I was in that situation of part threes and standards checks and things, and not having this when I was a PDI, didn't have anything like this. And what this lockdown's done is it's brought everyone closer together in the whole driving instructor community. And those that really want to learn can learn from others who are giving because they want to. And I didn't get any money during lockdown, but that didn't stop me wanting to give. And that's what it's all about. You've all got loads and loads of experience. We're here to give it to you, to help you grow. And that's the whole idea of these why don't yous.
Choice.
Yes.
Exploration, playing with everything within our job titles. Absolutely. Yeah. Options. And the why don't you phrase itself. Why don't you? Well, if you don't want it, don't. Why don't you if you do? Why don't you do one? None of us want it. We don't want to tell 2020 to do one because we're quite happy with it, in a way. In some ways, quite floundering somewhat, of course. I wonder, seeing as you were bringing it up, Sammy, about these, why don't yous? I would like a vote, if you can think of one in particular. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Terry, I'm going to ask the question before you vote.
I just didn't want to miss out on the vote, that was all.
Yeah, I know. Well,
it's normally late, that's why.
Yeah.
Which one, if you could recommend one of the why don't yous to go watch, I just wonder which one it would be. Steph.
Why don't you do a standard check every lesson?
You like that one, huh?
Loved it. Loved it. It's always there in the back of my mind because I don't want my standards check to come and I think, oh my God, I got a standards check. I'm going to have to adapt my lesson to make sure I pass my standards check. I want my standards check to be as natural as possible because I'm doing a standards check every lesson.
Nice. And I was about to ask you and tell me why, and you did it. So I'll do a Kev and say anything else from that one. No, that's really good. Thank you. And you came up with that really quickly. That's what I liked. Yeah. No, thank you, Steph. That was better than I'd hoped for as a question then. Thank you, Steph. Di?
Can I just say another great bonus for me is that my license was due at the beginning of the year and I was due a standards check and then an audit. And now because everything's being held up, I don't have to do a standards check. I can just do an audit. So I'm really pleased.
Yeah, there you go. So there are benefits, loads of benefits. Anyone else? Phil, Linda?
I think Ian was going to say something, wasn't
he? Ian, sorry, I didn't see your finger. Beg your pardon. Yeah.
It's the one where Samuel met unsuitable men in bars.
I don't remember what the topic was, but that was certainly a memorable moment. Thank you, Ian. Neil, have you got something sensible?
Yeah, for me, it was the two blue light ones that we did. Obviously, it's close to my heart, but yeah, it certainly, I think that highlighted a few things to a few people as well. And I hope it encouraged them to take note of them things.
Forgot about that one.
Those two, absolutely. Yeah, they were particularly good. What I liked was that we, as a group of people, had so many contacts, so we could get really good people in. Yeah. Thank you, Neil. Linda?
I quite like the one when we was talking about language and how positive language can change an attitude, and that was it, mind your language or something. Yep. But yeah, that one was quite good for me.
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant. Keith, we'll come to you in a second. I've got a slow-mo Phil. And because I ignored him earlier, I've got to do him first. Sorry, Keith.
I think for me, blue light ones, yeah, they were really, really good. I think the one that I really enjoyed the most probably was Fix the Feelings, Not the Fault. I thought that was a really good one.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice little mantra to go by, I think.
Yeah. Fix the feeling and the fault will take care of itself. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Lovely. Keith, are you writing a list of what ones to check out again?
I couldn't find it. I was trying to think which one it was. But yeah, again with Neil, the emergency ones were brilliant. They really, highlighted that, what we needed to know. But the one I liked was I think it's called Play More Games. Really enjoyed that one. Lots of different games you could play. Yeah. And I've been trying quite a few of those out, and they're good.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that one. I think we could go around again on that one. But yeah, totally agree, Keith. I think that we should have a lot more fun in our profession than we do.
Yeah.
There are serious aspects, but the serious aspects take care of themselves. Terry, then Di.
I've just got a question for Phil, that's all. Phil, is that boat behind you, is it very heavy?
No, it's very light.
It's very light, Terry, yeah.
Oh, I was just wondering. Thanks, mate.
Well, light, yeah.
See, that's what we all paused for.
I knew Phil wouldn't let me down.
No. Right. Thank you, Terry.
Di, serious, please. Come on.
Di.
I think it must be catching. So I'm catching it off Terry because it's half taken my boat.
Di, is that peer pressure?
I was going to ask Steph actually if she'd fallen off her chair because she was getting lower and lower in her chair and then suddenly disappeared.
Yeah, that's the next one. Bring a bottle, Steph, not this one. So, Di, apart from the peer pressure, thank you, Terry, so much for getting my joke. I was right. Di, is that it?
I didn't say anything.
No, she didn't say anything. Oh, for goodness sake.
Di, if you're not going to say anything, don't unmute yourself. You know the rules, God's sake.
Ian, you've got your hand up. Oh, sorry, it's a bit of chalk.
I'm sure Neil had his hand up not so long ago. Did you, Neil?
No, I've spoken.
Turn, Sammy. Oh, look, Sammy's got a hand up. Sammy.
It's Neil. He's got to go next.
No. Fiona, what was your best one then?
Keith stole my thunder because I think it was Play More Games, but this is because I am such a big kid. I think seriousness, I think there's enough of it on the roads, and I think there's enough of it within a learning environment. A couple of adults sitting in the car, or whatever you do learning wise, even with full license holders, which is what a lot of my career is now. I'm dealing with full license holders. You have to be a little bit more equal in the car. So it has to be, you have to make a challenge out of, you can't say to someone 2 second gap. Can you? Oh, wait, 2 seconds. Oh, wait. So Play More Games. I think there was a lot of benefit to the blue light aware ones. What I also like was a few months later, the blue light aware, the real people brought out a new video. So fabulous. I'd love to pretend that we were responsible for that as instigating it, but I know we weren't. I know it would have been in the plans already. But. Terry, what was your favourite? Kev, what was your favourite?
You don't have to ask me which one was my favourite, Fiona. You know what my favourite one was.
Remind me.
Play More Games.
Yeah. Well, it has
I just like to ask Ian. Could you go and get some cheddar, please?
Cheddar.
Yeah, some cheddar, please. Otherwise, my chalk and cheese joke won't work.
Kev,
Please.
Kev, what was your favourite?
Cut me off. Oh my God.
I've had too many, tell you the truth. I couldn't pick one, if I was being totally honest. I've enjoyed the laughs. I think that's what I've noticed more. You know, there's been a bit of a serious side to some of these, but also just the fun side of them as well. I think it's been quite interesting because, like people say, you know, the driving is quite a serious subject, but you can have fun during lessons or training or whatever. So yeah, a lot of them, and even doing these have been quite funny. Sam walk into a bar and chats to anyone and all that sort of stuff. So it was yeah, it's been funny. They've been good. I've enjoyed them.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm thinking about this in terms of, would you say that we're drawing to a close? Has anyone got any, you know, thoughts on this? As in, it's 10 past. Sammy?
And Steph.
And Steph, yes. No, well, what was my favourite? Well, my favourite.
Sorry, Sammy, we forgot. Sammy, what was your favourite?
My favourite was also the playing games one, because what that meant to me was we can be creative with our learner drivers. It's not all following this pattern and this pattern. We can be creative, and that's what I loved. And I loved hearing about all the different ideas that people have and put them all in one place. That was brilliant. I enjoyed that one. Kev, down to you.
What? I'm glad you were listening, Sammy, because I've already done mine. I think it's Steph next, wasn't it? Steph had her hand up.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes, Steph. Yes. Sorry,
Yeah.
Steph.
I like to blame one person in this whole group of why I'm here. He's wearing a purple jumper tonight. Di, it's your fault. I saw a brilliant video that you and Sue put out where I really thought you were the pupil, and you did about looking in your rear view mirror, getting the whole picture. You were nervous about going back driving. You were a full license holder. And I really, really thought you were a genuine pupil. I didn't know who either of you were at the time. And I started to dig a little bit more. I really, really enjoyed your video. It was amazing, taught me a lot, and it spurred me on to find all of you guys. So, Di, your fault.
Thanks, Steph. That is actually how I drive.
Steph. Steph, I got to tell you, for Di's next role, she's up for an Oscar.
I really thought the acting was brilliant in it. You were so natural, you know. It was so. That's why I said I really thought you were a genuine pupil, you know. And Sue was really supportive, and I loved the way she questioned, and it just taught me so much just from that one video. So thanks, Di. Your fault.
Brilliant. I'm glad it helps, Steph.
There wasn't no acting, Steph. We've seen Di drive.
No, we haven't, because we haven't. We normally close our eyes when she's driving. We haven't seen much of her driving.
Just say it's really easy when you drive that way anyway. Sue had a tough job, you know.
How many drinks did you have before you went out?
What, driving?
None. Did you know that Sue and I both do DGRS courses? None.
Yeah. I didn't know if you still did those. I'm glad you do. It's 10 past. Crew, can you vote with me? Are you all right to wrap it up a little bit early? It just seems
if you want Di's having another drink, she's going to be off her trolley soon.
It's only one, Terry. You know.
That's one. What about the 3 before that and the 6 that are coming after?
Yeah. Well, she's got another 20 to go through, because it's do 1, 20.
And do another one.
Me.
Why do you think I've enjoyed lockdown so much?
Yeah. So I wonder what's going to happen. I do wonder what's going to happen. And that's why Cheer for the new year 2020, 2021. Cheer for the new year, bring a bottle. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to hearing what's going to happen next time. Can I remind anyone out there, it is on the 30th of December, 6:30. Cheer for the new year, bring a bottle, 6:30 in the evening, and it's that mid anything. Oh, Sammy, I wonder what you're doing. It's that midweek between New Year and Christmas where there's not a lot. Not a lot going on. So do come for that. Bring your bottle, but
Or
also
6.
what's going to happen for 2021? And we'll hear some positives where people are going and what's going to happen.
Parties.
Yeah, because I'm looking forward to hearing a bit about that. Neil,
Hello.
have you got something to tell us about, please?
I
Yeah.
believe we've got some exciting news coming out. Yeah.
I thought I heard Fiona say at the beginning of this that you're going to have some exciting news at the end.
We have got some exciting news. Yeah.
This is the exciting news. This bit now coming.
This bit. Yeah.
Cool, because people have been waiting to hear what the exciting news was because Fiona mentioned it right at the beginning.
Fantastic.
Did she mention it at the beginning?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, okay.
So
She did.
as a
I
wider,
heard that. Neil, you carry on whenever you want.
sure.
Can you imagine what it's going to be like with a bottle on the 30th?
At least we're filling in the last 15 minutes. Neil,
Whenever you're ready, Neil, crack on.
I thought he'd forgotten.
Neil, come on, we're waiting.
Somebody mute him.
Have you written it down?
Now, Neil, now.
So yeah, we've got some exciting news because we've got some great new projects coming on board in 2020, and I want you to come and all get involved in that. They are paid ones though, but we're starting to advertise them now.
Are they in December 2020?
Say again?
Are they all in December?
No, they're all in the new year.
Oh,
All coming along.
2021.
2021, yeah, something to look forward to. Yeah.
One job.
Yeah. Neil, who are you today?
It's Terry. Today
Who are
on.
you today, Neil? Who are you?
yeah. What are they, Neil? It's why don't you surgeries?
Yeah, so why don't you surgeries for standards checks and coaching in comfort?
So the coaching in comfort is very much about us as a crew. Really, it's coaching in comfort. So it's a really safe place. Develop your coaching skills. So it's everything you know, everything you need, and obviously because it's us doing it, it's tailored around you. Sorry about the pun, seeing as that's my surname. But there you go. So that's it. And what was the other one, Neil?
The standard check surgeries.
Yeah, that's it. And that's a bit more obvious. But again, it's us fixing and supporting. I think we can do that quite well as a team. So well worth it, I think. Well worth it. Anyone got anything else? It's a shame Sue had to go. I miss her. So Sue,
The internet can only cope with two computers at the same time. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a shame.
Bet she'll be here to bring the bottle.
She's going to kick Di off. I'm here.
Fabulous.
Keith's doing something.
What's Keith got to show us?
He's doing his own plug.
Now.
What is it? Tell us what it is, Keith.
I thought you were talking to the dog, Di.
What I did during lockdown, I was a football coach many years ago, and what I've done, I've put all the games together in a booklet, and it's actually been published now. So hopefully I can give that to a lot of youngsters that are learning how to coach football, all from Watford as well, Kev.
Well done, Keith. Well done.
And the other one I've done is all about driving. and it basically just goes through the basic lessons, just refreshes their mind so they can sit down after the lesson, refreshes their mind a little bit more. So
You do realise, Keith, it's more polite to ask people if you can plug your product during.
I didn't have a plug handy. Sorry.
Did I plug it? Did I plug it all right?
Right, we're going to wrap this up. So I do appreciate it. Next one is the 30th at 6:30. Why don't you? And please do come along. Come along, be on the panel, be an attendee, do whatever you want. But we've enjoyed. Well, I think we've enjoyed this a bit more relaxed than usual, a little bit more relaxed. But thank you, panel.
Do music.
Thank you, everybody. Have a
Music.
wonderful Christmas. Have a wonderful Christmas. See you before New Year.
Right.
Happy Christmas, everyone.
Happy Christmas.
Happy
everyone.
Christmas.
See you on Facebook.
Bye.
Don't swallow your peanuts.
Yeah, we'll swallow them. Don't inhale them.